Boxing Day Classic, the only tournament with holiday punch only and jumping 4 times during an active round. One of the more interesting tournaments for the year as we wrap up the holidays and the new year, as well as the last event for the NHBL majors in 2019. Glad to have you with us here a day after Christmas. Happy holidays and Merry New Year to you all. Gentleman Fedora alongside Witchosaurus Hex, ready to see a fantastic tournament. 3 slots on the line, a lot of interesting storylines going in here. Of course, Ice making his debut in the major circuits today. Decided to go out last second in the backyard brawl and the clash, but looking to qualify as the 2-time defending Sasha Heavyweight Champion. Has had some luck with the holiday punch as per last season in the final against Locktrap. But what's more interesting is the other sides of that. Ice will have to face off against Shikken if Shikken can get past the Fight Night competitor. Came in last second to this tournament, Comfy Len. So a potential rematch for the 8th Sasha Heavyweight Championship. It could be around the corner in the quarterfinals. You look at the other sides of the bracket, the tournament opens with Baxter and Oracle. Baxter, despite having 80% of his hits landed, has not made it past the second round in the 2 tournaments he's been in thus far. He's looking to make a name for himself and get a little bit more of an edge, and he has to face off against another Fight Night competitor, Gearhead. If Gearhead can he could get a victory against Pepsi Apocalypse, also another big Fight Night name. So the left side of the bracket looking very interesting in that regard. Of course, the other side with Axeman 13 trying to make a name for himself, even though he has not made it past the second round, even though about a 67% hit landed percentage, looking fairly decent, but he's got a tough opponent in Spotin, who's managed to get to the Final Four of a tournament, and that was in the brawl, then losing in the second round in the clash, colliding with either Punchy Boyo or, in his first major appearance, Floof, a big Fight Night competitor on that side. Dos Caras, the Aputis Pal movement, makes his first debut in the major circuits against Egyptian Bagel, one of the toughest opponents to get in your debut back in the majors. And then on the other side, the match closing off the first round between Mr. Mega Glavisky is Rage Will. Now, Witchosaurus Hex, you've got this first matchup between Baxter and Oracle. And like I mentioned, Oracle has his first major appearance, but Baxter, it's not that he's a bad boxer because he's fairly accurate in his hits landed. It's just he can't get past that second round because of the tough opponents that he's faced. But this is the time for Baxter to make a statement and make a run to qualify for the playoffs.
Absolutely, and it doesn't necessarily matter what percentage of your hits you land, as much as you landing the right ones at the right time and landing as many as you need.
And you look at the matchup after that, Punchy Boyo and Floof, both of them are fairly prevalent in Fight Nights, but they have not made a major circuit tournament appearance in Season 9. Very mysterious to see how that match is going to go down, but if they're at Fight Nights, they've got to have a huge amount of.
Absolutely. It means they're used to that, running around with really just anybody in those low-level Fight Nights, where you can play up and go against anybody in that ring there, and who knows who may come out.
The 2-time defending Sasha Heavyweight Champion, Ice, makes his debut. He's also the defending champion of the Boxing Day Classic going back to last year, won in the final against Locktrap. But he's facing off against JoJo, who was a complete dark horse in the clash, managed to get 4th place, didn't qualify for the playoffs, but made a very good run in the clash with Stockfist. Ice feeling more lucky than usual and trying to get qualified sooner than later for the playoffs.
Absolutely, and Ice, of course, has had all sorts of experience in this league, if I remember correctly. He's been up and down all sorts of tournaments, so, I mean, who knows how that one will turn out, what with both of them not really having a whole lot of high, or what was it, one of them not having a whole lot of high-end tournament experience. You never know what's going to come out of these new boxers,
And the final match I'll throw at you between Dos Caras and Egyptian Bagel. The Pooties Pal movement. This is his first appearance in the majors. Egyptian Bagel was 3rd place in the backyard brawl, and with 80% of his hits landed, it begs the question of, are we going to hear Pooties Pal shouted more often than not in the Boxing Day?
Oh man, that's going to be tough. I've seen an Egyptian Bagel fight a few times, and he's got quite a style to him, and he is a tough opponent to beat. I mean, you never really know who's going to come on top in that ring, and between the two of them, I think they're going to give us some good boxing to watch.
Well, you guys head down to the ring to see the warm-ups for Baxter and Oracle. It's time for myself and Witch to get a better camera angle in the spectate position, but also see the warm-ups between Baxter and Oracle. And we already mentioned it about Baxter. You know, he was making a name for himself as a heavy boxer this season. He decided, I want to go to the boxing scene more so than the more the boxing scene than the staff scene. And of course, he did really well in his position on the administrative staff, but he's made a name for himself even if he hasn't gone past the second round thus far. So they're still waiting on Oracle to get out of here. But Baxter, he is trying to get past that second round and finally get to the Final Four, potentially get qualified by regulation.
Yeah, absolutely. And having been on the administrative side of it, he's certainly seen a whole lot of boxing from that side. So only time will tell if he'll be able to capitalize on the observations he has made and watching folks fight in this league.
Now, this is the tradition with the Boxing Day Classic. Both heavy boxers, immediately as they punch, they both laugh, especially with critical hits being so the even punches for both. It's a slower tournament than usual. And with the punches going out, only 2 more left of these warm-ups, and Oracle manages to get the right move in the warm-up rounds there. And of course, that's one of the critical factors you have to look at in the Boxing Day Classic is, yes, you're going to have a lot of laughter when you collide for the first punch, but it's important to know when to perfectly time your movements so that you don't end up laughing and your opponent ends punching.
Absolutely. And of course, you also have to remember that with the holiday punch, the taunt kill is still in effect. As he'd be able to, pow an opponent. I know you're not supposed to according to the rules, but Spogo was almost narrowly whacked by Oracle just a moment ago. So he's got to remember that at the very...
Especially with heavy boxers who are not in red. And one more warm-up round here between the two, and Baxter just managed to get the better of him. That's another interesting portion that you just noticed there on the warm-up is that Baxter punched him in the back, and anytime you try to punch towards the back area while a heavy is stunned from the holiday punch, you're not going to get any damage off because it's technically considered that critical hit there. That, and you combine that with the ability to jump. So some heavy boxers can use that to their advantage and jump backwards when somebody tries to punch in, and it could potentially backfire, but it's also an interesting method that can be used going into tonight.
Absolutely. Certainly quite a bit more complexity involved when you add jumps into the equation.
And away we go in the Boxing Day Classic, the first matchup between Baxter and Oracle. There's one jump for Baxter, but it costs him. Oracle punching in the back. He's got to quickly get a kill here, and he does. Takes the advantage 1-0.
Absolutely flawless round there by Oracle. Manages to get the laugh off at the very first punch there on Baxis, and was able to angle himself correctly to where he didn't land those critical hits on the back and just landed every single punch. A flawless victory by Oracle.
1-0 advantage already for Oracle. There's an attempted jump by Baxter in the first round and tries to get another one in. It works to his advantage a little bit, but Oracle just punching and punching back, and 2-0 for Oracle pending any disputes, but Oracle just relentless.
Absolutely. Yet another example of stun locking your opponent there with the holiday punch. Do we have a dispute?
Doesn't none from Baxter, so that'll end it. Baxter a 2-0 loss, unfortunately, in the first round, and Oracle is moving on to the quarterfinals. Just immediately quick round there. Punchy Boyo and Floof is the next matchup, and neither of them have been to the major circuit, so that might be why they are unaware that they need to head to the ring right now when they're called. So Punchy Boyo and Floof.
Punchy Boy rolling in on what looks like a bumper car.
Yes. Bumper car. Floof almost looking like he wants to go back. He's just fearing for his life a little bit, but
quite scared.
Now, of course, both heavy boxers are a little bit.
We have here on Punchy. It looks like we've got an unusual. It looks like a unusual beanie cap of some kind. I don't remember the name of that item. He's wearing his nice big winter coat. He looks nice and warm. Floof, I believe, looks like he's wearing Marasmus's hat.
It almost looks like it. Let me see if they'll allow me to.
Oh yeah, Punchy Boyo's wearing that that mink around his neck as well. He's looking very warm. He's very bundled up for this approach. Floof is wearing a ghastliest gibbous, it appears.
Alright, I'm gonna give you guys three. Let's go.
The three warm-ups going on there. I believe one of them's already. Punchy Boy used it to his advantage. I was trying to inspect their items in game to see which ones they were, but for some reason my spectate bind isn't working. But it's Ghostly Gibbous and Abominomicon, but Punchy Boyo has a decent loadout there. That beanie cap is definitely keeping him warm in this cold December.
Absolutely. Floof looking like every bit the noob here with what he's coming out. He's got the Manco cap now as swapped his loadout. He's showcased the Marasmus hat, the Ghastliest Gibbous, the Abominomicon, and the Manco hat, all of which are the stalwarts of your typical TF2 noobs.
Start between their first major appearances. It's an instant laugh and punch by both. Both of them down to 235. They got to quickly get their punch off and floof. Punchy Boyo with an incredible maneuver takes the lead one.
Oh, that was beautiful. An instant move off to the dodging to the right side there right after the stun lock resolved and managing to get his opponent stunned off the side right.
1-0 advantage for Punchy Boyo. Both of them trying to get their name in the majors. Punchy Boyo just a swing and a miss at Floof trying to punch him in the back. It may backfire on him. It does! Oh my gracious!
Down to the final punch for both of them, and Floof, not being aware of the critical hit backstab function of these boxing gloves, manages to do 0 damage on multiple punches, and Punchy Boyo takes advantage.
There are very few matches that leave me. That one has left me speechless.
Floof looking every bit the noob of as illustrated by his hats there.
So make that a 2-0 sweep. We have not had a first round match go to the third round yet, but we're only 2 matches in out of 8. So now we head to match number 3, the return of the 2-time Sasha heavyweight champion Ice and the 4th place heavy boxer in the clash, JoJo, set to collide between the two. And we talked about how Ice is defending the Boxing Day Classic. He's kind of honed his craft when it comes to the Boxing Day Classic. He knows what to expect, and it works to his advantage most of the time, especially seeing what happened last year.
What I would actually say, based on his current Steam name, is that he never knows what's going to come through that door.
Yes, Rick Harrison form Pawn Star, as they're supposed to be. Looks like both of these heavy boxers are supposed to go with their warm-up rounds, I think, or they're just staring them down.
Yeah, it's a bit of a stare down going on here. It's a pawn negotiation across the counter is what this looks like.
Well, I mean, JoJo's trying to sell that unusual for certain thousands of dollars, and he's only getting a few thousands of dollars, so that's where the negotiations are coming in.
Yep, absolutely. Rick Harrison saying, "I'll give you $10 for this unusual," and JoJo saying, "Are you?"
It's the kind of thing of why the heavy boxers are very vibrant in their personalities around the NHBL, especially seeing moments. And of course, you can't crouch in the actual matches, but Ice, one of the people who coined the turtling moves in the fisticuffs from Season 8, which everybody knows what resulted from that. Instant laughter from both.
Absolutely.
You have to think we have 2 more warm-up rounds after this. This is going to be fun. And Ice just bouncing up and down.
Oh, the taunt
kills in the warm-up round.
Beautiful.
Oh, that's brutal.
That is absolute flex. Speaking of that taunt.
He flexes, and then he actually flexes. The disrespect, man. It's
such disrespect.
And JoJo is probably going to get some good vengeance on him for that. And that's only 1 warm-up round, too.
Goodness, Ice is just looking like how relaxed do you think he is right now?
Probably way too relaxed. I'm not sure. I know from word he was a little bit upset about some Counter-Strike Global Offensive stuff that was going on last night between him and his comp team or something. I know he was upset about that, so now he's completely relaxed as he's looking up.
Direction, Joe, right back to him, and then the conga line back into the ring. My goodness, looking like Lara Croft in those kneeless shorts and the sleeveless shirt as well. My goodness, what an insult to injury from
Stop
both boxers.
spectating me while I play games.
Is there any fight night rivalry we don't know about between these heavy boxers? Is there something we're... That's
It's
my
entirely
question.
possible. It's looking like we've got a bit of an Adam Jensen loadout here versus Lara Croft, and perhaps it's a showdown between major video game protagonists.
Oh. And instant lap by both, unless JoJo could get an instant weave here. He's not going to win this warm-up round.
Oh, he got that instant weave.
Oh,
my goodness.
It's just a warm-up round. We've seen this kind of stuff happen before.
And he capitalizes on the round. My goodness.
So that's 2-1 for those of you watching at home for the warm-up rounds. We're officially into the match, and both of them jumped about 8 times, of course. So if they jump more than 4, it is a penalty.
A taunt kill from each of them, and then a killer move by JoJo right there at the end. I like what I'm seeing. This is going to be some interesting match.
Woo! The referee just taking those jabs and pushing it off. So now Ice on his major circuit debut against JoJo jumps around. We should, if we had the copyrights to it, we'd start playing jump around. That's 1 jump for Ice thus far. JoJo just stone cold staring down Ice. Just barely in. Ice just trying to get something going on this. But JoJo inches in a little bit closer.
Some fancy footwork here from Ice.
They're both getting their footwork in and just circling around because they know how much of a risk it is. So far, only 1 jump for Ice. No jumps for JoJo. Trying to close in a little bit more. It's according to Bagel, JoJo's analyzing his stand. Second jump in, and Ice gets the diving punch. And waited till the last second. The disrespect. 1-0 for Ice.
So much disrespect, landing that final punch and then flexing in the middle of the ring. That first attack there looked like this flying beatdown punch is what it looked. It's what a flying killer move by Ice there.
Waiting for the line to hit the bell. The notes guy gets it done. 1-0 advantage for Ice already. Dandelions takes more notes. And again, it's the stare down between them. And now Ice has named himself to Captain Price. He was Thick Harrison. But now 2 jumps for Ice. He gets it in. And Ice is headed on to the second round with a 2-0 sweep.
Such disrespect from Ice there. Flexing again after defeating his opponent in that round. That was a flawless victory both times. Absolute domination from the 2-time Sasha heavyweight.
It's the kind of thing of why you have to be careful with the moves you make, and Ice just using that winter noisemaker to its death. Next matchup is Dos Caras and Egyptian Bagel, the Pudis Pal movement, making his first major appearance for Season 9. He was on the bracket for the Backyard Brawl in the Clash, ended up not attending though. And the Pudis Pal moment, and Spoko is the referee with the T-posing Bagel. Oh, I feel sorry for Bagel. I feel sorry not for Spogo. I also feel sorry for Bagel because if he tries any disrespect, it's not going to happen. And this is the same man who crouched excessively during the fisticuffs and why the rule was changed. So now I'm wondering if we need to start making any rules, if there need to be any rules for T-posing. I don't know.
Point. It's kind of baffling. I don't know how he's going to box like that, especially considering Dos Caras can't necessarily respond to his stancing. Oh, Dos Caras with the taunt kill in the warm-up round.
I don't think that counts as a warm-up round, but Spogo counts as a warm-up round.
Referee final word on that. That's the round.
The Spoko man has spoken. Oh my goodness. All right, now Bagel's not messing around.
What a magnificent treat here on Boxing Day. Some T-posing, some flexing, some awesome outfits.
Oh, yeah. Just the awesome outfits, the flexing, all that. I think warm-up round number 2 is supposed to go.
And some hilarious taunt kills, especially.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Merry belated Christmas, everybody, and Happy Boxing Day. Speaking
to just the Canadians.
Yeah, to just Ice, I believe, is the only boxer we have from Canada in the league at the moment.
Well, happy Boxing Day.
Man, these guys are just punching the air.
That air was feeling it by now.
Yeah, no bell for warm-ups.
Well, I'll tell you what they're doing. They're imparting energy onto the air because it's wintry cold in this arena. They're trying to warm everyone up, and I, for one, salute them.
Very much trying to warm up and get their muscles ready for the actual punches. Dandelion's taking notes again, making sure anything. Yes, Spogo loves his job. And Dos Caras gets the punch in, so that's warm-up round number 2. One more to go until the actual match. Spogo. We now go live to Spogo in this third warm-up round. Spogo, how's it down there in the ring? Is that you wincing in pain, or is that you sipping on some cocoa tea?
Yes.
Okay,
all right.
One more warm-up round between these two.
Dos Caras doing his best parcel tongue impersonation in the chat.
Well, not even that. They're in the split side of the ring. They're not even on their designated corners. But
Dos Caras appears to be behaving like a snake that is coiled into the corner of a cave and refuses. And Egyptian Bagel responding in kind. They're both speaking to each other in parcel tongue.
This is. Oh, yeah. I'm sure there are going to be some regulations on the warm-up rounds after this tournament.
Some serious head games going on here. And some keyboard spam from Rage Will as well.
Oh, no. Get on with it!
Get on with it!
All right, I'm cutting it. That's the third warm-up round. We go.
Oh no!
Oh, whoa!
Voslav came out. Where did that?
I guess that's a warm-up round.
What pocket did he pull that gun out of?
The Smelly intervened.
I must avenge my fallen brother.
All right, then.
We at the NHBL take this very serious, and we are very professional about our positions here. As we head down
that's a good joke.
Here we are, round 1 between the meme lords of the NHBL, and make that 4 jumps by Dos Caras, so he can't jump. Oh, this is interesting. And Bagel gets the punches in. He's gonna. Is he? Yeah. Take the first.
A little bit of mind games and memery going on there. All 4 jumps right at the beginning.
All of them at the beginning, and neither of them using the jumps to their advantage. But now it's a 1-0 advantage. Round 2 as Bagel leads, and Dos Caras getting his jumps out. So that's 4 for Dos Caras and 4 for Bagel as they stare each other. Oh man, this is you know the moment in the fisticuffs when everybody knew that there was going to be a rule change. I think this is one of those moments as well for the Boxing Day Classic. Dos Caras, Egyptian Bagel circling around the ring, looking for a way to get a punch on as Bagel circles back over to Caras' corner. Very risky and the first punch is by Egyptian Bagel. Bagel gets the last punch in. He is moving on to the next round.
Absolutely, another pair of flawless victories there. Bagel managing to land that first punch and get the stun lock going and lands the other 4. And that final punch, hesitating just a little bit both times, showing that he is in control and just messing with Dos Caras.
Warm-up rounds for the second half of the first round of the Fire Classic. Again, gentlemen, it's Fedora and Witchosaurus Hex bringing you every bit of the action here. And again, there is crouching here in the warm-up rounds, and Comfy Len gets that first victory. Again, you have to keep in mind, Comfy Len is making his first major appearance, and Chicken did not participate in the clash, but he is the champion. He did participate in the clash. He was the champion of the Backyard Brawl. So he's already got a tournament under his belt. He's already qualified for the NHBL finals. So just looking to get some more prizes by winning the Boxing Day Classic.
Absolutely. And as we've seen a few times before here,
Ready, boys?
more experienced boxers tend to be pretty
Let's go.
decent at their chances tend to be pretty good against less experienced boxers. From what it looks like, they're both turtling here again. In
Yeah,
round two.
I tell you, man, between Chicken and Comfy Len, among all the heavy boxers in this tournament, it makes you wonder where the memes are going to be generated. But hey, I mean, it is what. So Chicken and Comfy Len punch each other, and I believe they have one more warm up round.
Yeah,
If they decide to both turtle at the same time, does that mean the NHBL has a reptile dysfunction?
Well, I think this is a shining moment in the outtake blooper reels for the highlights.
All right, boy. You guys ready?
I didn't even know that you could fit puns into sports broadcasts, but now you can. So thank you for that, Witch. Thank you. Last warm up round.
Tried it before.
Two. No, of course not, because of the amount of puns you tell me on a regular basis.
As
Comfy Len gets the victory in the warm up round. Round one between Chicken and Comfy Len. Both of them have flaming unusuals, hotheads, and Chicken gets the first round victory. Just quick gets the first punch in. There we go. 1-0 lead for Chicken as Comfy Len gets 3 jumps in. 4. Chicken has a little bit more. Looked like, yep, there's going to be a penalty for that on Comfy Len, but the round still continues. Down to the last one. Comfy Len trying to get the punch in. It's down at an advantage, and he gets the punches on Chicken. Of course, it's not going to matter with Comfy Len winning there. And official penalty announcement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's a penalty, right? There's 5 jumps and a crouching, right? On what's his name? Comfy. We will go ahead and restart the round.
Still 1-0 for Chicken. Comfy Len gets the jump in, and laughter ensues as Chicken punches him in the back, and Comfy Len tried to get something going there, and Chicken 2-0. He's moving on to collide with Ice in the second round, a rematch of the Sasha Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, Comfy Len didn't quite look comfortable there. Wasn't able to land that first hit in either of the rounds that counted anyway. That second round he seemed to do pretty well, but just miscalculated how many jumps he had made, unfortunately.
That's a bookmark to put on in the second round between Chicken and Ice, but we got 3 more matches in the round of 16. Punchy Boyo awaits the winner of this next match between Axeman 13 and Spottin. Of course, both of these heavy boxers have been in the last 2 tournaments. Axeman 13 has had a little bit of a struggle. Axeman 13 is in the same boat as Baxter with not being able to get past the second round, despite having a very high up there hit percentage as the warm-up round starts.
Could you move a little bit back? Yeah, perfect. Right, thank you. All right, so you guys ready? You guys know the rules, right? 4 jumps per round, no crouching, right? You guys ready?
Practice rounds.
Oh my gosh, I am so sorry.
It's practice rounds.
I am so sorry.
Empress getting a little ahead of herself there.
3 warm-up rounds here for both of them, but Axeman 13 in the same boat as Baxter, where they're both they have high, at least above 50% hit percentages, but they're not getting past the second round. And Axeman 13 started out in the fight night scene, so we'll have to see how it goes for Axeman 13 as he's trying to get qualified for the playoffs in the same boat as Ice sooner than later.
Yeah, well, as you get through a tournament and the margin of error decreases and the odds increase against you, it's tough to advance. And not a great many boxers can say they've advanced.
Let's just fucking fight.
Well, you can tell the punches between the two, and again, the disrespect card being played by most of the heavy boxers to punch at the very last second instead of finishing it.
Absolutely. And
you look at Spottin as well. He was 4th place in the Backyard Brawl, 2nd place in the Clash, so he's qualified for the playoffs already. And it's another situation like Chicken where it's more about winning more tournaments, getting more prizes, and getting more reps in, especially against the top-tier heavy boxers in the league.
Yeah, absolutely. A little practice never hurt anybody, and going for the glory is very, very important to some of these boxers.
Let's go. And Ice trying to go for that glory and try to go as the only heavy boxer in NHBL history to get 3 straight Sasha Heavyweight Championships. He has to qualify first before he can have a chance. Round one between Spaten and Axeman 13. Both of them quick to jump out of their corners. Spaten getting on the red side, gets a jump in, and the diving punch works for Spaten. He's got a 1-0 advantage.
Excellent use of that jump and dive there, punching down on top of Axeman's face. Axeman did manage to get a hit in there, which is seeming to be unusual for this tournament so far, but Spaten was able to capitalize on that stunt.
The clicky keys are strong with Alcatraz. 1-0 advantage for Spaten. Axeman 13 gets dove punch again, and Spaten is moving on to collide with Punchy Boyo. We have not had a match to this point go to the third round. All of them have been 2-0 sweeps.
Yeah, that flawless top-down technique appears to be working for several boxers today. Just that jump and punch down seems to be very effective at locking the opponent up, and when you got them locked up, you really just nail all the other punches.
And make that Punchy Boyo and Spaten in the quarterfinals, which is going to be an interesting match as the heavy boxers get deeper into this tournament bracket. Match number 7 of the round of 16 is in between Pepsi Apocalypse and Gearhead, two heavy boxers who jumped in last second. We're not expecting to be in the Boxing Day Classic, but Pepsi Apocalypse, in his first major appearance, has been a fantastic heavy boxer for the Fight Night scene. He's been participating fairly well as rides in on a bumper car. Pepsi Apocalypse, that's the really great thing you see about Fight Night is you get reps, you get to face off against top tier heavy boxers, and at the same time you have a chance to get at the majors if you have a chance to get at the majors on match day for major tournaments like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's huge benefits to getting lots of experience against more experienced heavy boxers, and we've seen a lot of guys come up from the fight nights and do extremely well in NHBL tournaments. So there's nothing wrong with getting some experience.
Nothing wrong with that at all. And you look at Gearhead as well. This is his second major tournament. In the brawl, he unfortunately took the loss to Egyptian Bagel, but he's landing 75% of his hits. So Gearhead, he doesn't like to take any punches that he knows he's not going to land. He doesn't like throwing any punches that he knows will not get on target, as you can see by that one-up.
Yeah, absolutely. And discernment is super important when it comes to throwing your punches, because what with what would be the word? It's not quite a reload time, but the time between punches being so important here in TF2, especially when it comes to using something like the KGB, where your firing speed is reduced. It's extremely important that you be discerning with what punches you.
As final warm-up round here between these two, they're using the jumps to their advantage, and Gearhead just managed to get the better of Pepsi, and just the warm-up rounds concluded on that. And Gearhead or Pepsi Apocalypse will face off against Oracle, who is in his first appearance in the major circuit tournament, and that match could very well turn out to be for who qualifies for the playoffs. First round, Pepsi Apocalypse a little bit slow to get out of his corner, hesitates but gets back in. He's got 2 jumps dealt in, 2 for each, 3, 4 for Pepsi, and 4 for Gearhead. And Gearhead tried that last jump but couldn't get it there. Pepsi Apocalypse takes the first.
Absolutely. The jumps are extremely advantageous here because you can't get stunned while you're in the air, and Pepsi Apocalypse just manages to land one punch just as Gearhead was landing. Gearhead ran out of jumps, and then that was it. Pepsi Apocalypse got him stunned.
It's a 1-0 advantage for Pepsi Apocalypse. Gearhead is going to try to get it going here, but the jump immediately on by Pepsi managed to deal it. And 2-0, Pepsi Apocalypse is moving on.
Shoved him back into his corner there and jumped and punched down, and now he's throwing the table into the middle of the ring. What a dominant performance by Pepsi.
And Pepsi Apocalypse and Oracle is already solidified for the second round, and it's going to be a fantastic matchup to see. Now, the final match of the round of 6.
Pepsi. Excellent boxing. Best of luck.
Great sportsmanship by Gearhead, trying to get in nominations for the Chivalry Award for the Fisties in Gearhead on the ring and off of the ring. Definitely a high candidate for that. Mr. Mega Glovisky and Rage Will is the final matchup of the round of 16. Winner of that has a tough task ahead of him to collide with Egyptian Bagel. But Rage Will, one of the boxers who he was, this is his second major appearance. His loss in, I believe, the Backyard Brawl was to Big Boy Lethal. Now a staff member, you'll hear from his voice. You'll hear his voice in a few rounds.
That's me.
Three warm-ups, right? Ready? Type this in chat if you're ready. Ready? Go.
Both Rage Will and Mega Jam anxious to get out from their corners for these warm-up rounds. But it's interesting, of course, for Rage Will that this is only his second major appearance. He is 50-50 on his accuracy. 50% of his hits land, 50% of them don't make it. And it's tough.
That is interesting, considering you have to wonder how many punches he's throwing in order to miss half of them.
Yeah, it's tough to mishap those. But Mega Glovisky, he's in a situation. There are several heavy boxers who have not made it past either the first or second round, but they are really high on the hit percentage. That's Mega Glovisky. 85% of his hits are landing, but he has not made it past the first round in either the Clash nor the Backyard Brawl. It's really tough, but he's trying to get over that hump against Rage Will.
One more. Right.
My theory on that would be that he's probably not throwing as many punches as he should be. Really, if he's landing 85% of them, you can land as many punches as you want when it comes to accuracy, but unless you land as many as you need.
It's one of those situations that is interesting to look at as it gets deeper into the tournament. I don't know if anyone else saw that, but that brass beast went flying out of the good distance there. Final matchup of the round of 16. Mega Jam and Rage Will exchange jumps, trying to get their punches in. He's got one more for Rage Will, and he manages to land the punch. Incredible work by Rage Will, and he's got a 1-0.
Beautiful dodge timing there by Rage Will, managing to be in the air both times that he took punches, which meant that he didn't get stunned and just happened to land that final one. Punching the ref there for a bit, managed to land that final one to give him that first round.
1-0 advantage for Rage Will. Mega Jam, both of them down to 3 jumps. Make that 2 for each, and Rage Will gets the punch in as he's mid-air. 2-0, no match goes to a tie-breaking third round in the round of 16, and Rage Will has a date with Egyptian Bagel in the second round.
What fantastic jump timing there by Rage Will. Absolutely critical, being in the air every time he took a punch. And you notice he took damage in both of those rounds, but it was always when he was in the air where he could avoid being stunned. And he managed to capitalize on his time on the ground and stun his opponent and get him both times.
Alcatraz just jumping out, letting them get to their warm-ups. It's Captain Price versus Brexit, otherwise known as Chicken versus Ice. Flip those names around and they're in the correct order. A rematch of the Sasha Heavyweight Championship from last season. It was a 2-0 advantage for Chicken in that, and then Ice swept 6-0. But it's a new season. Ice trying to qualify. Chicken already qualified, but Ice in his first major trying to get back to the playoffs, and he's got to get through Chicken if he wants to get a chance to qualify earlier on.
Absolutely, and both these boxers having had a lot of experience in previous tournaments. We've seen a whole lot of boxing from both of them, high-quality boxing, and as always, you never know what's going to happen inside that.
And no one knows for sure, but between these two, and now they've
through those doors.
You got a 3 out of 5 matchup between these two, and this may be one that's going to go to the last round because both heavy boxers are crafty. They know what they're doing, and they're very close.
And they are making a lot of winter noise.
They really love using those winter noisemakers. I wonder if they just have like a +H thing in their console as Ice gets it there. It's the punches there. The disrespect from Ice throughout the matches. He is very much the man who does not care what people think of him.
See him flexing there while tossing the noisemaker all over the place.
Likes to flex in the snow, essentially. Waiting on Chicken to get back in here for one more warm-up round.
You know what they say about working out in the snow?
You're
If
Canadian.
It makes you both Canadian and really cool.
Ah, it's me!
And with that, I petition for puns to be banned from broad.
That would be not cool. I think Ice would disagree with that.
It's me! It's beautiful, I can't hurt it.
Canadian and cool. There you go.
Final warm-up round between the two. As they both laugh immediately, I think Chicken is going to get a chance at that first punch. He does, and he gets him out for the warm-up round.
They start on this.
And there we go. The bell has rung. The round has started. Instant punch for both. Chicken with the quick charge out and gets another punch in. Both of them laughing with their backs towards each other at the same time. Can they hook around and get the punch in? And it's Chicken who takes round.
Chicken with the twitch there turned around in the blink of an eye and managed to land that last couple of punches. I swear it looked like he was aimbotting. He moved so quick.
But there is a dispute by Ice for him. Looks like for him.
He and Spogo have decided to accept the dispute and redo the round. As you can see after the first laugh in the round, that there is blood and a damage sound effect, but there is no damage taken. So we're going to be redoing the round.
A successful dispute results in a reset of the round and a punch even. There goes more punches for Chicken. Gets him in. It's 1-0 again for.
Goodness, what a fantastic, again, punching down from that jump. Manages to lock him in place and get all those punches landed. What a damage taken on both sides there. So what an excellent first round.
Round two, Chicken's up 1-0. Chicken gets the punch in there, but he gets it dealt back to him. The laughter starts, and Ice waits till the last second, ties it 1-1.
And flexes after completing the round. What disrespect.
That is the first time in this tournament that a heavy boxer who has gotten the first round victory has lost a round. It's the first time. So we're going to see this at least go to 4 rounds, so tied 1-1. Tied at 1 evenly. And it looks like Spogo's ceasing for a penalty.
False start on the red boxer. That's a warning. Redo the round.
Tied evenly at 1. Chicken trying to charge forward. Ice being more conservative with his movements and jumps up. And Ice is the one who ends up laughing, and Chicken is going to take the 2-1 advantage.
Goodness, what an interesting set of jump timing there. Landed a couple punches on Chicken, but Chicken managing to just tag him while he was on the ground momentarily and get that round victory. It makes
both heavy boxers literally on the ropes here. And Ice gets the diving punch in, and we're going to head to the final round between these.
Well, the first set of matches that went to a tie-breaking round is a good one, all the way to the 5th round for this. It's, again, that managing to jump and punch while in the air seems to be critical in this tournament, where a stun lock can completely end your...
Tied at 2, Ice trying to get to the Final 4 and get closer to qualifying for the playoffs. Chicken trying to prevent him from getting there. Even punch by both. Chicken is headed to the Final 4.
Wow, what an excellent set of timing there for Chicken.
Instant dispute by Ice, though.
Ooh, lag dispute. It did look like he was having a little bit of trouble moving there for a second, so I'd love to see how that Twitch clip comes back.
We've discussed it, and we have denied the dispute, as we have seen no lag whatsoever from Congo, as we've seen him. Okay. He was running smoothly and moving around with his footwork perfectly fine, and then got caught in a laugh and was killed. So again, we denied it. Well, yes! Chicken will be moving on.
Oh shit!
That'll be an interesting thing to look at, of course, later on. I didn't get a chance to see the clip, but regardless, Chicken is moving on to the Final 4. Ice has got 2 more tournaments to qualify for the playoffs, unless he tries to win the Natasha Heavyweight Championship. He's got 2 more tournaments to qualify, so tough road for Ice to get into the playoffs, but you got to give it to Chicken on just an incredible performance.
Absolutely, taking it all the way to that 5th round there against one of the greatest boxers ever to box in the NHL.
One of the best boxers at the moment and 2-time defending Sasha heavyweight champion. Egyptian Bagel and Rage Will is the next matchup. It was going to be Spaten and Punchy Boyo, but just flip-flop those. So we now have Festive Will and Egyptian Bagel set to collide between those two. You look at Rage Will, again, this is his second major. Got past the Mr. Megaloviski in the first round, got him by a 2-0 score. Everybody got each other by a 2-0 score in the first round, but it's, of course, Bagel managed to get past Dos Caras. This is just one of those matches that's between two Fight Night competitors who are very, very high in their strength. But Egyptian Bagel, very much one of the people that is looked at more than Ragewell, and that's just because of Bagel winning more tournaments at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Bagel's got a little bit more of that notoriety there, simply because he's gotten a few more victories. But you should never dispute anyone in particular. Anyone can go anywhere in these.
And you look at Rage Will, of course. As I said, this is his second major, and his only stump in the road was to Big Boy Lethal in the first round of the Backyard Brawl. And now that he doesn't have that challenge, it's tough to go against Egyptian Bagel at any point in any tournament. But for Rage Will, he's looking to try and get through. He's looking to try and get through Bagel and make a name for himself in this tournament.
Oops.
As he whipped out his minigun there.
Okay, these guys are eager. Just sound the bell, you may begin.
Round 1, Bagel immediately charges from the ring. Ragewell trying to get the punch, and he gets the jump to avoid the laugh pedal. He almost went on the rope, very close on FEX to the ring, but Egyptian Bagel takes the first round.
Yeah, some pretty vicious upfront boxing right there from Egyptian Bagel, not holding any punches back and immediately engaging, managing to land that contact there first and just capital.
If you ever want to make Spogo laugh, just try to pronounce French words when you don't know a lick of French. Bagel gets the punches in, makes Ragewell laugh, and it's now 2-0.
2-0, just backing him into the corner of the ring right there and pushing him up against the ropes each time. Managed to stun lock him. That's some vicious boxing right there from Bagel. He wants this to be over.
2-0 advantage for Bagel. Ragewell's got a tough hill to climb, but it has been done before. Bagel gets the punches in. He's headed to the Final Four. 3-0.
Just a little bit of off dodge timing there from Ragewell. He jumped up in the air, but Bagel was there to land the punch right as he was landing and make that count and stun lock him and finish that round off. A clean sweep.
Warm-up round starting between Oracle and Pepsi. Apocalypse and Hellfire getting them just underway for us, but it's been a fun tournament thus far, Choppy.
All right, boys. 3 out of 5, right? I mean, 3 warm-up rounds, right? You guys ready? Yes. All right, let's go.
Whole lot of very dominant boxing from each victor here. We've only had one out of our, so far, 6 individual rounds go past a sweep, basically.
And we've only got 2 more matches that you and I are covering, and then Big Boy Lethal and Dan the Lions will be giving us their amazing analysis and commentary for the Final Four and the Boxing Day Classic. It's going to be special to hear them both. Big Boy Lethal will be play-by-play for the first time. Dan the Lions in his usual element as a color analyst. It's going to be special.
Let's go, boys.
We've got these 2 more matches. Chicken awaiting the winner of Oracle and Pepsi Apocalypse. Both of these boxers here in their first major appearances. Both of them are trying to make a name for themselves. And here's the other thing that's very interesting. With Chicken already qualifying for the playoffs, whoever wins this match, they're in the playoffs. And then it depends if Punchy Boyo wins. If Punchy Boyo wins, they get into the playoffs, and then it goes by relegation to determine who's going to the NHBL final. But regardless, for either of these boxers, whoever wins is going to the playoffs, so a big moment for either of them.
Absolutely, that makes it huge. You never really... I'm trying to remember. I don't think Pepsi Apocalypse has ever been in the playoffs before.
Nope. This is his first season.
Absolutely, a fresh boxer with something to prove.
Ready? All right, here we go. Hold on. Oh. There we go.
False start for Oracle. That's a warning.
There we go. Round 1 between Oracle and Pepsi Apocalypse. It's time for the punches. Each of them get the punch off, but Oracle can't get through it. Pepsi Apocalypse punching him in the back again. This affected him earlier. Finally got the punches there, and it's a 1-0 advantage for Pepsi.
Pepsi Apocalypse learning from his previous experiences that you cannot punch in the back if you want to damage your opponent with the whatever these fists are called.
Holiday punch.
The holiday punch, that's it. I cannot remember things very well right now. However, that was a good round from Pepsi Apocalypse, and we'll see some more.
It's now a 1-0 advantage. Pepsi trying to get another punch in. Both of them jump off, bouncing off the ropes. Pepsi Apocalypse getting the side punches in, and he takes the advantage 2-0.
Pretty significant there, managing to time his jump just so that he was able to land and make that punch and stun lock his opponent.
2-0. Yep, there was a movement there.
Second false start. That's a
Alright,
point
second
for
false
the
start, yes.
opposite.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
With that, that's 3-0. Pepsi advances. So with that, 2 false starts. That means Pepsi Apocalypse has won the round by a default. Tough on Oracle, of course, but again, it is his first major tournament. Of course,
Yeah, you'll
it is
learn.
tough.
You'll learn, right? Don't worry about it. Man. You did good.
The good news is he has the option to go into other tournaments and such he chooses. But by that, Pepsi Apocalypse will head on to the Final Four against Schick. That's it. But Pepsi, at least in those first 2 rounds, was very dominant, he was a great. Pepsi Apocalypse was very dominant in those first 2 rounds.
And beyond that, Pepsi Apocalypse also qualifies for the playoffs with this round victory.
Oh, yeah, by a technicality, Pepsi Apocalypse is now in the playoffs. You know who else is trying to qualify for the playoffs? Punchy Boyo. He's got to get through Spotting if he wants to get to those playoffs already. So now...
Time for the next ones.
So now Spotting and Punchy Boyo headed into this next matchup.
Out of the ring. Out of the ring, guys. Out of the ring. Let's go. Let's go. It's over. Thank you.
So the final quarterfinal between the final quarterfinal between Spotting and Punchy Boyo as they both get to the ring. Both very known for memeing. Spotting will be in red. Punchy Boyo will be. So we'll see Punchy Boyo in just a moment. And Spotting honing the name. He was explaining to us at break what his name Mario Pissjar means, and I don't like his explanation. It doesn't make it any more stupid. But everybody trying to do the mind games. Yes.
The reason I named Mario Pissjar is because
as his mic cuts off. All right, warm up rounds. We don't need to hear his. So again, Punchy Boyo, he wins this. He qualifies for the playoffs in his first major. Spotting wins this. It goes down to regulation for who gets qualified into the playoffs. So it'll only be Pepsi Apocalypse getting in, and then it will be based on round victories. It'll be between Rage Will, Rage Will, Punchy Boyo, and Ice to determine who moves on. But in this case, neither of them are really worrying about that. Punchy Boyo just wants to get to the playoffs.
Absolutely. Tiebreakers always end up fascinating when you're dealing with how many rounds people have won and who's at what point in the standings.
They get really tough, but at the end of the day, the heavy boxers are trying to put themselves in a position where they immediately get qualified by their own hand instead of getting qualified just by some tip. But it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down here. So, about 1-2 more warm-up rounds. Alcatraz for Green People is our referee for this. Officiating has had they've had their hands full with several disputes and a lot of false starts and such today. They've had their hands full, but they've done a great job, man, keeping the matches clean and managing everything.
And quite a significant amount of sass, let me say that.
Oh yeah, even with the heavy boxers' disrespect, they've all stood strong and been very fantastic. As Punchy Boyo punched in there. And we looked on the bracket as well. Alcatraz for Green People, congratulations to him. He is officiating the first final match in his officiating career. He's had a few quarterfinals and semis, and he's getting that final, essentially championship match of a tournament. So congratulations to him on that.
Absolutely. The NHBL's finest, I believe being the finest of all referees in heavy boxing.
Final quarterfinal to determine who is going against Egyptian Bagel in the super semis. Jumps by both. Spaten dealing his punches and not a single bit of laughter in there, but there is a shotgun fire by the officiating supervisor, so I believe there's a penalty. Spogo calling 5 jumps on both heavy boxers. I don't think we've had.
Yeah, it certainly looked like both of them jumped one too many times. They got into the rhythm of jumping and then just didn't necessarily count in the heat of the...
May begin when the bell sounds.
And the bell has gone off. Punchy Boyo trying to get the punch in, and Spaten manages to make him laugh, and it's a 1-0 advantage for...
As usual, the timing of that jump and the timing of punches related to that jump is so important in these matches. When you can stay in the air and receive a punch from your opponent, you avoid the stun lock, and if you are able to land them afterwards, it's as if you were never punched in the first place.
1-0 for Spaten. Punchy Boyo trying to punch his way into the playoffs, gets some dealt punches there, and both of them with 4 jumps, and Spaten gets the last say. He's got a 2-0 advantage.
No laughter in that round. It looked like both boxers managing to stay in the air enough to avoid the stun.
2-0 advantage as Spaten slow to get out of his ring. Punchy Boyo with the jumps, just can't land a punch and trying to get him in. And Spaten, there is a penalty ruled. We'll wait for the penalty. All
right, yeah, I saw 5 jumps from Mari Pischar. This was already a warning, so that's 1 point.
Punchy Boyo staying alive. Both of them even punches there. And Punchy Boyo gets punched down. And 3-1. Spaten is moving on against Bagel in the final 4.
Yeah, looking like a perfect victory there for Punchy Boy, or for
Spaten.
For Spaten. Managing to land every single one of his punches and avoid any of the stun locks there. Managing to manage his jump amount just the right amount and land the punches when it mattered.
Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. We start out with 16 boxers, but now we're down to 4. It is me, Big Boy Lethal, with Dandelions on co-commentating, as we're here to introduce you to the Super Semis. The first match, Pepsi Apocalypse versus Sugar. And with this, the warm-ups will commence. Dan, how do you feel about Chicken and Pepsi's match right now? Pepsi, coming out from the woodworks, not many people expecting him to get this far.
I'm really excited with Pepsi Apocalypse's performance today. Chicken's always been a tough competitor to fight in general, so it's incredible to see Pepsi make it this high up in the tiers and fight such against a formidable... Definitely a fight to see.
And already with qualifying for playoffs, Pepsi has done outstanding for himself this tournament. Really should feel proud of himself for getting this far. And now after the second warm-up about to commence between Chicken and Pepsi, Chicken in the red, Pepsi in the blue. It's to see Chicken being one of the titans of the NHBL at this point, winning in the backyard brawl and doing really well in every other tournament, getting finals last year in the Sasha Weight Heavy Championship. Do you feel like the Cinderella story here for Pepsi is going to strike at midnight, or do you think Chicken's going to pull through? Do you think we're going to see Pepsi in the finals?
I mean, Chicken just changed his name to Formidable Foe based upon what I'm saying, and it is. I do hope Pepsi Apocalypse makes it all the way through. It's gonna be an interesting fight. Everything's up in the air.
Yeah, it is indeed. And the Formidable Foe jumping around, making Pepsi laugh. And we'll finish off these warm-ups. And the first match commences for the Super Semis. Pepsi automatically going on the aggressive, but Chicken counters, gets him laughing, and takes him out. Very easily for him, it looks, in the first round.
Based on what I saw Pepsi lean a bit to the right when he jumped, leaving Chicken a good option to knock him out of the air, and then knock him again when he was down.
And Chicken up 1-0. Chicken going a lot more in the aggressive, but Pepsi jumps Chicken, gets him laughing, and immediately this match is tied up. It's going back and forth, it seems. Pepsi with the aggression coming out on.
definitely a good hit. I don't know if he expected Chicken to back the way he did, but it made him clean him up well.
1-0 for these boxers, as again, they try to take mid. Pepsi goes in for the jump again, trying to catch Chicken on surprise for a second time in a row, but Chicken just sidesteps it, gets him laughing, and gets Pepsi down in the ground, going up 2-1 in this fight so far.
These rounds are definitely going fast. What the big mistake Pepsi made is he started backing up after his first jump, allowing Chicken to jump straight into him and get the first hit, knocking him into laughter and causing the
Chicken up 2-1 as they again try to reclaim middle. Pepsi, third time in a row, goes for the aggressive shot where he just jumps in, tries to kick Chicken immediately, but Chicken's got him figured out at this point. He just keeps sidestepping him, makes him get to the ground and punches him, gets the laugh off, and he wins again. We're here at match point for Chicken.
The very aggressive style is not in Pepsi's favor, and Chicken is picking up on that in a very defensive manner. Pepsi's going to have to do some rethinking in order to come back.
Match point in this David versus Goliath situation. Chicken goes in and takes Pepsi down, and now we will see Chicken in the final.
It was a good match between the two of them, but Pepsi was unable to recover after the 2 rounds he lost to Chicken. He got that one nice match, but it wasn't enough.
Be 1 more rounds. Let's go. Start.
All right, and with the warm-ups commencing with Bagel in the blue and Spottin in the red. We have 2 very aggressive foes who've seen each other in past tournaments going at it again to get this final spot to face Chicken for the title of the Boxing Day Classic. Dan, what are your regards on this match? What do you think is going to happen so far? Do you think we're going to get another close one or another roll like we've been seeing so often in this tournament so far?
I mean, it's hard to believe Egyptian Bagel did just pull a spin move and 360 his opponent, so it's anyone's game, really, but it's all down to that first laughing hit. If you can land that first hit, like just so, you're guaranteed the win. And the 2 of them pulling spin moves upon each other in order to for their last hits. So it's really anyone's game. It's just a matter of getting that first ground hit. That's why we have the 4-jump rule. And as long as they get that first hit on the ground, they are guaranteed the round win.
Yep, and with these opponents flexing on each other with the spin moves, the almighty God spin moves. The last warm-up round, where commenced by Bagel, is just sitting in the middle of the ring, dancing around. Spottin tries to taunt kill him. And this is definitely going to be a very exciting match. 2 amazing boxers that have shown their own within the NHBL are going to go up at it in this 4-7 matchup. And both boxers coming out of their corner for the first round of the second match of the Super Sandies. Both players playing passive, but then Spottin comes in with a surprise attack, gets Bagel laughing, and takes the first round. That very, very surprising from Spottin there.
That was definitely an interesting fight. Spottin got the first jumping hit on Bagel and cleaned him up from there, leading to, like I said, a clean round.
And there goes the bell. Both Bagel and Spottin again coming out of their corners, dancing around the circle in the middle of the ring. Spottin, for the second time, gets the jump on Bagel and takes him out. Man, this is definitely setting a precedent for the future rounds.
Bagel is very defensive, but he just has to watch out for those initial hits that Spottin brings in. And it's so hard to pick up when that hit is coming that you just have to be on your toes at all times. Finger on the S key at all times in order to back up and avoid those hits.
We've been seeing a lot of parity with a lot of sweeps or near sweeps in this tournament. Let's see if there's going to be anything different. As both boxers jumping, they're both laughing. Whoever gets the first punch here is really going to decide who gets it. And Spottin gets the punch in 3-0. And we have a call from the referee.
Upon reviewing the match, right, we kind of found that it was 5 jumps, so it's going to be a warning for Spottin, right? We're going to go ahead and restart the round.
And after that official ruling taking away one of Spotten's points, let's see if this changes the momentum here. And it doesn't! Spotten goes in again! Taking Egyptian Bagel, making him laugh. 3-0, we are again at match point for Spotten here, being overly dominant in nearly all of his fights.
It's impressive. He has almost like a pouncing tiger sort of way about it, where he just sizes up his opponent and then lands a perfect hit every time just to get that last.
And after that redo, still match point for Spotten 3-0. Both boxers again around the circle of the ring, hoping to get something else different. Egyptian Bagel going on the aggressive. 4 jumps from each. Bagel takes out Spotten for his first point, but we get a calling from the ref. We have a penalty on the field.
5 jumps on blue. That's a round void. That's a warning.
This 4th round never seems to end, as for the 3rd time after 2 redos, we're going in for match point on Spotten. Bagel's able to jump out of his first couple, but Spotten gets him laughing, and Spotten wins the super semi fight between him and Bagel 4-0 in stunning fashion.
It really was an interesting fight to see, but that 5 jumps keeps becoming an issue between everyone. I believe we just have to keep an eye out for the 5 jumps, and it's hard to fight when your first hit is when you get hit first, and then the rest of your health bar just goes down because of the laughing. It's an interesting concept, but it makes for interesting fight.
And after this very, very interesting tournament, we have the 2 finalists here, Spotten against Chicken. 2 amazing boxers who have had years of experience in the NHBL. Chicken already won a tournament back in around November, October with a backyard brawl, and Spotten here has made the finals multiple times. Very seasoned boxer. Dan, how do you think this is going to play out?
It's really anyone's game. The Holiday Punch is a different weapon from the KGB as we normally see in tournaments, as one hit by the Holiday Punch can leave you in a laughing taunt, which lasts as long as it needs to in order for your opponent to kill you.
Indeed, it's almost like it's just the first punch wins as long as it's timed right. And Spotten, with his 4-0 win over Bagel, has shown that he knows how to time these punches properly. But will he be able to get him on Chicken? It's going to be a very interesting match as the second round of the 3 for the warm-ups commences. Both boxers in laugh lock, as I like to call it, both just having a ball, jumping, and there goes Spotten as Chicken leaps into the air and takes him out.
Definitely was a good alternative than going to another locking position one more.
Indeed, and after this, we'll have a 6 out of 11 fight between Spotten and Chicken for the final match of the Boxing Day Classic, as they both get into their corners, looking very intrigued. Just crouching towards each other.
They're crawling out here. While this is happening, how was your Christmas?
It was great. Got to see the family, all that good stuff. How about you, Dan?
Mine was pretty good. Been spending the time with my family. I got a new mouse with 16,000 DPI, so it should be.
And the first round of these finals commences. Both boxers immediately coming out. Chicken showing a lot of aggression, but Spotten is able to counter and quickly finishes off opponent in an amazing way, taking him down and getting the first point in this fight.
Spotten definitely held his jumps in order to be hit by Chicken at one point, only to dodge the jump, dodge the laugh mechanic by jumping. It's an interesting strategy that will pay off in his favor.
All right, and 1-0 for Spotten. Both boxes again dancing around the circle. We've seen that constantly, but Spotten goes in for the aggression and Chicken counters, jumping back in him to laugh and ties this match.
1-1. It's definitely been an interesting fight. Chicken definitely got the good jump hit on Spotten in order for the rest of the hits to follow, but it's just a matter of who jumps first and who hits.
It is 1-0 for these two formidable boxers, as Spottin playing very passive this time, just waiting for an opportunity, but it doesn't matter. Shaken comes in with the aggression, takes it, it gets the lead in this round, 2-1. It really just seems to be mind games at this point.
Definitely. Jar was a bit glitched in that very instance, as his minigun kept appearing in his hands, even though he was fully equipped with the holiday punch. But I keep mixing up who's on blue and who's on red. Red was able to get the first hit with a nice jump into it, and the confusing Jar names only seem to grow more and more confusing. And as we enter the 4th round.
Alright, you may begin when the bell sounds.
With Chicken in the red and Spawn in the blue, both with their very Jar-based names, the 4th round commences, and both of them going in for the jumps, but Chicken gets to come out on top, taking down Spottin to start getting a very big lead here, 3-1 in this fight.
I apologize. I was writing down Chicken red, Spottin blue to help me remember. Definitely was an interesting fight. Chicken was able to get the first hit as per usual in a jumping manner, and was able to continue.
You may begin when the bell sounds.
And more Jar-based names as we get to the 4th round. Chicken playing aggressive this time, but it doesn't matter. Spottin gets the maneuver on him and takes him down. 3-2 in Chicken's favor still, though. It seems as though the passive boxer is getting the upper hand in these fights.
Definitely seems that way. I feel that Spottin was waiting for Chicken to jump into him and line up a clean hit when he was on the ground, and was able to clean it up as Jar Jar Clanks now enter.
And now 3-2 in Chicken's favor. Chicken going on the aggressive, trying to take out that middle area. Spottin playing a way more passive, both going in for trades. 3 jumps on each side, 4 jumps, but it doesn't matter with the referees calling a penalty as Chicken has won this round. But let's take it to Alcatraz to see what the call.
I saw Jar Jar Clinks or Chicken jump 5 times at the very end, so I'm just gonna give that off as a warning, and we're gonna redo that round.
And with a redo on that fight, it's still 3-2 in Chicken's favor, as Spottin playing passive, waiting for Chicken to go in. Chicken does go in, seeing jumps, but Spottin doesn't even take any damage there, ties it up 3-0.
That was definitely interesting. Chicken was ready to go on full offensive after taking middle of the arena, but he just could not land one of his hits on Spottin, and Spottin was able to take.
This has definitely been the closest match we've seen so far in this tournament, with the 7th round commencing 3-0. Spawn goes on the offensive, and he gets Chicken to laugh. Spottin reclaiming his lead that he had at the beginning of this match, going 4-3. Man, it just really seems that this is a game of inches, a game of milliseconds.
It very much is. I was surprised Chicken didn't start jumping when Spottin began jumping, in order to counteract the fact that he had the high ground by being in the air as such. Definitely would need some adjusting in the strategy.
Spawn up 4-3 with the 8th round commencing. Spawn just seemed to stand in his corner, playing very passive. Chicken already in the middle, waiting for one person to jump, seeing what's going to happen as they dance around the ring, just getting the other person to go. And Spawn goes at first, but Chicken's able to counter. It's 4-all here with the 8th round. It's just back and forth with these two boxers.
Definitely is a back and forth game. Chicken got the second jump, like I just said before, as if he was listening, and was able to secure that round victory for himself. It was very interesting. Chicken seems to have more comfort in the middle of the ring, while Spottin has more comfort in the corner.
And in the Battle of the Jars, as we're seeing here, 4-all for these boxers. Only 3 rounds left to decide who wins the Boxing Day Classic. Both boxers being very passive, with a little bit of a visual glitch going on Spottin's side. Chicken goes aggressive, and he takes him down. Chicken is now at match point, 5-4 in favor of Chicken. Will Chicken be able to claim the second tournament win in the last 3 tournaments he's participated in?
There is a strong possibility that he might get that win. The jar names are continuing as Chicken has changed his name to Super Duper Strongest Jar, while we have the Super Strong. Oh no, correction, the Mega Super Strongest Jar in on Spotton's blue side here. So we'll see what happens.
5 for Chicken's favor. Spotton tries to cling to his dear life here, and Spotton gets to tie this up. We're going to an 11th round. Oh my God, the fight, this fight here, it's one of the best I've ever seen so far. Man, it just, you don't know what's going to happen next. You honestly don't.
It's definitely a good day for a Boxing Day Classic. We're entering the 11th round now. It's just a matter of who gets that first hit. And it's all coming down to this last first hit, and we will see who takes.
Tensions running high as the 11th round. The battle of the jars doesn't seem to end. We have both boxes playing passive, just waiting for the other one to bite. Chicken bites first. They're jumping. 3 jumps, 4 jumps, and there seems to be a 5th jump from Spotton as he wins. But the refs call it. We go down to Alcatraz to see what this call.
I saw 5 jumps from blue. Okay, well, we're just gonna redo that round.
With like the 14th or 15th round at this point, with all the redos, we have what is definitely going to be the last round with Chicken already wasting one of his jumps with the hyper mega super duper. Chicken is asking for a restart, but there is not going to be one allowed from the refs. The fight's going to keep going on because they both allowed it. It's going to continue. Both boxers just staying in their corners. So we seem to be stuck in limbo at this point. Confusion enters the ring as both boxers don't know what's going on. Spawn asking if the other boxer's ready. Refs are chanting for them to get on with it. Spawn just seems to be stuck there, and they both go for it. This is the last round. Shaken's at 40, and Spawn wins!
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the prize presentations for the Boxing Day Classic of the National Heavy Boxing League. Gentleman Fedora, owner and founder. What a tournament filled with memes, filled with punches, and just filled with so many different things. And it finally has come to a conclusion. The tradition is probably going to be changing going into the next few years that started back in 2013 with the Holiday Punch, probably be its second chain. As for the prizes, I'll get to those in a moment. By virtue of Chicken, Spotton, and Egyptian Bagel all qualifying for the playoffs, the ones who have entered the playoffs, Pepsi Apocalypse by getting to the Final Four, Ice by at least getting 2 rounds in the quarterfinals and falling 4 rounds won, 3 rounds lost, and Punchy Boyo, 3 rounds won and 3 rounds lost because of Ragewell and Oracle not getting a round 1. We do not have any tiebreaker matches for that. So congratulations, the 2-time defending Sasha Heavyweight Champion is back in the playoffs. Punchy Boyo's in the playoffs, and Pepsi Apocalypse, the Fight Night boy, is in the playoffs. Now for the prizes for the tournament. Egyptian Bagel, congratulations to you on 4th place. You've already qualified for the playoffs, but unfortunately not the result you wanted in the semis by losing to Spotton. Oh, look at that. 3 people have food for me. That's great. So congratulations to you. We're looking forward to seeing your performance going through the rest of the tournaments. Pepsi Apocalypse, you've qualified for the playoffs. You got 1-round victory against Chicken. You had a fantastic performance. Congratulations to you on getting 3rd place in the tournament. We'll hopefully see you in some future major circuits, but we know for sure we're going to see you in the playoffs in 6 months. And I told you guys to switch around. How dare you? Chicken, congratulations to you on 2nd place, only falling 1 round short of Spotton and getting all the way through here, especially to upset Ice in the quarterfinals. Congratulations on that. And we know we have you registered for the European finals in just a few weeks' time. We're looking forward to your participating in that tournament. It's been a while, Spotton. 2017 in December was the last tournament that you were victorious in the Boxing Day Classic. And if I get my stats correct, it was against Musique, 6-5, a very last-second victory in the Boxing Day Classic. And congratulations to you, 2 Boxing Day Classic victories in the last 3 seasons. Incredibly fantastic. Congrats to all 4 of you. We're looking forward to seeing your performance going through the rest of the tournaments. And now I hand it off to Mr. Big Boy Lethal for the post-match interviews.
Oh, I'm taking the first two from Big Boy.
All right, here comes Dan the Lions. Big Boy, get out of spectate pools.
How do you get on the stage? Oh, there it goes. All right, Egyptian Bagel. First question for you. How does it feel making it this far in the... I will speak for Egyptian Bagel. He says good. What was your strategy going into this tournament, even though it is different based upon the fact that it's Holiday Punch and not KGB? Literally nothing. I had no strats. All right. What do you think would need to be different for the next time if you were to participate in the class? Nothing. All right. Well, congratulations on 4th place. Thank you for the interview. I'm gonna move on now to Pepsi Apocalypse. Pepsi Apocalypse, how does it feel making it this far and then also getting a spot in the finals for the NHBL spot in the
playoff.
The playoffs. Apologies.
Well, it was pretty crazy considering I've not really been fighting for that long. Just started fighting heights, sometimes they're good, sometimes I'm shit. It's okay, so pretty epic. Epic gamer moment.
That's good. What can we expect from you in the future?
Not much. I really don't know.
Do you have anything to say for the people in the playoff?
Prepare to destroy me. I'm yeeted.
Alright, that's
Pepsi didn't kill himself.
All right, now here with Chicken. Chicken, you got 2nd place here. You've had 2 finalists show 2 times that you've been in the finals in the past 3 tournaments. How do you feel that this momentum that you're currently gaining is going to carry over to the European final?
I'm hoping to get 2nd again. Sounds fun.
It does indeed, and with this in the playoffs, clearly showing you being one of the best of boxers in this tournament so far. What do you have to say to your opponents for June when the playoffs roll?
I hope to get 2nd again.
Chicken does like being 2nd, and now with Spotting, the meme man himself, winning his first tournament in 2 years at this point. Spotting, how does it feel to finally be back on top?
Homie, I won the NHBL, homie. Aren't you proud of me, homie?
Wise words and sounds from Spotting there. Only winning by 1 round. What was your mentality in the 11th and final round against
Yeah, no, fuck the March impersonation. Okay. So I just really, what was the question again?
What was your mentality in the 11th and final round for your final against?
I kind of shit myself. I need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, and one last question for you, Spawn. Are we going to be expecting more of Spawn winning tournaments like he just did for the Boxing Day Classic, showing up again in February?
That depends on if my opponent's pamper pull.